Yes, y'all. I'm in the background making my literacy gang faces. I love that theme song. That is right on time. Definitely music to my ears because we in our own lane. We got our own slang. We do our own thing. We're the literacy gang. All right. So hopefully you are a member of this literacy gang, and that's the best gang in town. That's the best gang around. We are all about that literacy, culture, community, and love. And if you don't know, I am Star Armstrong, the founder and executive director of Clever Communities in Action. And we are all about this literacy movement for our children. And we are all about this, coming from a culturally affirming perspective. We understand that education has to be holistic. And so we bring teachers on board, we bring our youth on board, but we have people who have an understanding about the importance of our children and how we must protect them in all aspects, protect their education, protect their mental, their emotional, their physical, all of those things. And so although literacy is our focus, again, there is a holistic approach here. And if you've been tuning in with us, then you know we have these foundational literacy lessons on Mondays and Wednesdays done by teachers who care. We also have our moments in history, and we have our affirmation by our beautiful Shania, who comes through and makes sure that our babies and our community is loving, and proud of who we are. Now, if you guys have been keeping up, then you know that this is the end of season 4. We just had our 1-year anniversary show last night. So we have been doing this for a year. And to put that in perspective, the school shutdowns have been going on for the school closures. It was a year. And so in many districts, children have not been back to school yet, or in some, they just came back, this week in Norfolk Public Schools, where I reside, they just came back this week. So that was 1 full year where students and teachers have not been in the classroom. Talk about these unprecedented times that we live in. We're hoping that we're coming on the other side of this, but nonetheless, through everything that has been going on, if you are tuned in right now, we are a year in this and we made it. We are here. If it's been challenging, however it has been for you, you are here. And I think, as Shania says, and you will see, you need a virtual high five for that. So whether you are one of our babies, our students, a parent, a grandparent, an educator, or whatever, we have persevered, we are still here, and we will continue to make it through this. Let's just continue to be intentional, to support one another, and to be advocates for our young people. That's what the main thing is. So again, this is the last week of season 4, and y'all know I'm liable to belt out in song anytime. So what came to my mind was, although we've come to the end of the road. Let me stop. But no, it's the end of the road, kind of, because we're still going to be around. This is the end of season 4, but we're still going to have the playbacks where you can catch season 3 and season 4, and we're preparing for season 5, and all that is going to entail for the summer. And we are also, excited about another project that we are going to jump on. But all of you Virtual Village junkies, you literacy gang members, don't worry, we are still around. We are still here for you, okay? So look, with that said, it's been a long day, a great day. We're alive, we're breathing, we're here. And, literacy is a thing, reading is a thing, and we're excited about that. But nonetheless, we've been working hard all day. So I need my pick-me-up. So how about we go straight into our Shania, the Minister of Motivation, and let's get motivated.
Greetings, virtual villagers. My name is Shania, and do you know what time it is? It's affirmation time! Time to remind ourselves how great we are. So everybody, repeat after me. I am smart. I have purpose. I am confident. I am valuable. My voice is worthy of being heard. I am an asset to my family, school, and community. I respect myself and I respect others. I am beautifully made inside and out. I love my beautiful hair and I love my beautiful brown skin. I am more than enough. Great job, virtual villagers. Can I get a virtual high five? Great job. And always remember how fantastic you are.
Virtual villagers, I'm Talia, and I know you guys are waiting for it. I know you guys are ready. Here's today's moment in history. Stanley Lou Hamer. Born into sharecropping in the Mississippi Delta region in 1917, Stanley Lou Townsend Hamer was a force to be reckoned with during the American Civil Rights Movement. Miss Hamer was the only person able to read and write on the plantation that she worked on, which led her to be a leader in her community. Having been incensed by the denial of Black people to vote in the extremely racist Mississippi, she led 17 other brave volunteers to register to vote in the Indianola, Mississippi, where they were met with excessive racism and barred from voting due to an unconstitutional and illogical literacy test. 2 years later, in 1963, after continuing her electoral ballot with the people of Mississippi, along with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, she was able to not only register to vote, but help organize the masses of Black Mississippi into the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party in 1964. Later on, she'd go on to establish several economic ventures that ensured the livelihood and sustainability of her community through the Pig Bank, which provided free pigs for Black farmers to use. The Freedom Farm Cooperative, buying land from Black people to use collectively to farm and live, as well as 200 low-income housing units in Ruleville, Mississippi. A true revolutionary and freedom fighter, her memory serves to show us all that we can help our communities in a variety of ways.
This episode of the Virtual Village Show has been brought to you by Dominion Energy.
Good morning, students!
Professor Ramona and I are going to be working on fractions today.
Encuentra el país.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him.
Excuse me.
Ay, de nuevo. Teachers are doing whatever it takes to connect with their students.
202.
And Cox is too, by connecting over 140,000 eligible students in need with low-cost internet.
Who wants to see it again?
With the Connect to Compete program from Cox.
Have you been injured? Do you need to protect your intellectual property? The McPhillip firm can help you. We are an Atlanta-based boutique law firm offering a unique blend of personal injury and intellectual property services. We provide tailored counseling and representation. The McPhillip firm is here for you. Call us today for a free consultation at 404-999-5-LAW. The McPhillip firm. No gimmicks, just results.
All right, Virtual Village family, we are back. And, Shania definitely does a good job with getting us amped. And I continue to encourage you all on that affirmation, make it a part of your daily lives. We have the clip of that by itself. So if you would like that affirmation so that you can make it a morning ritual or whatever part of the day that you want to make it, we have that available. It's on our Facebook page and it's on our YouTube page. That's Clever Communities in Action on Facebook and YouTube. But if you would like for us to send it to you directly, just send us a message and we'll get that to you, because it's important that our children, we continue to hear in the news all the time ways in which our children's lives are not being valued in the way in which they should. And so again, that's important that we have to be community advocates. And we say it takes a village to raise a child, but we have to be active villagers. And also, a part of that is making sure that we equip our children with the tools to understand that they are valuable. And in that affirmation, Shania says, I am smart, I am valuable, my voice is worthy of being heard. And, I'm about to get on a slight tangent right here, but I've been doing this work for a very long time. And in a lot of settings, I find that when asking questions, our young people will tend to not want to raise their hands, not want to answer questions. And so we have to make sure that we help them to understand that their voice is worthy of being heard and what they have to say is important and that it's valuable. So we have that affirmation that is right there for you. So like I said, just hit us up on Facebook or on YouTube and let us know, and we will send that to you. Make sure that you have that in your arsenal. And of course, Kalia comes through with that moment in history. And she talked about Sister Fannie Lou Hamer. Sister Fannie Lou Hamer was the people. She was all about the people. She was in there. An interesting thing about her, she was in her 40s when she became the activist, the powerhouse that we know, the political powerhouse that we know her to be. So it's never too early and it's never too late for you to get involved and make that impact, okay? So, for our little ones tuned in right now and our families tuned in, we hope that you all are ready to learn. And with that said, we have our wonderful teacher here for the night. We always bring teachers who love on our children, who are great at their craft. They are wonderful educators, but again, they are also holistic teachers. They understand that love, that nurturing, and those expectations, all of those things, those high expectations are the ingredients that build our students up and make them strong learners. So for our little ones who are tuned in, are you ready to get this literacy mixed in with this love? These foundational literacy lessons are so important because we want our babies to have the tools to be able to be strong readers. And we know that it is a ladder. And, you can't get to the top of the ladder without being able to, you got to go from the bottom to the top. So we want that foundation to be strong. So with that said, let's bring on the unicorn, Mr. Bracey. Good evening, Mr. Bracey.
Good evening. Doing well, Star. How are you doing?
I am doing well. So glad to see you. It is always a pleasure. How's everything been going with you and your students?
Our students are doing well. They're, the students are pretty much acclimated. Those that are there. We still have some students that are virtual, and they're going to school online. So the transition between teaching face-to-face and virtual, sometimes within a day, I might teach both on several different grade levels. But it's fun. A lot of our students that are virtual, the energy levels are through the roof. So they're still excited to be in school and they're still excited to learn.
So glad to hear that. We need the good news. We're trying to work on the bad news and to change those things that should have been being worked on a long time ago. But getting those success stories, hearing those good things, big or small, we need those little wins along the way. So, and that's a big win. Knowing that our children are energetic about learning, that's a big win right there. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, you are a media specialist. So how does that, I think, this is our last night. And I want to ask you to give a little information to everybody about exactly what the media specialist does. And then how that has been, how you've had to remix that, how you've had to modify that during these times.
Well, as a media specialist, most people think of checking out books in the library. So they think of the librarian sitting behind a desk and checking out books. But our job is actually teaching lessons. So we teach literacy lessons, we teach research lessons, we do writing assignments with students. And so on a day-to-day basis, I would see students from kindergarten up to 5th grade, mostly. And we do activities and lessons based off of the curriculum a lot of times in the library. But now that we have the library closed and the lessons still go on, so I meet them in their space. And so I go to classes, I'm virtual, I'll meet the class online. A lot of what we did when we were virtual, I still do in the classroom. So there's a lot of technology still included. Reading stories, finding fun activities for the students to do, keeping them engaged, bringing new books to their, to their knowledge, and helping them to explore the library. Some students who have only read, say, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, are now looking at books that they would have never looked at before. And they're like, oh, okay, well, there is more. And it doesn't have to be a picture on every page in order for me to enjoy this book. And so I enjoy what I do because I get a chance to see everybody, the whole school, and introduce them to literature. And so we have children that are in kindergarten that are looking forward to their weekly lesson. And we have students that are in third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade that just want to be read to, and they enjoy just being read to.
Excellent, excellent. I love that. And so there's a little education on there for everybody about what our media specialists are doing. And that's a lot, and that's important. And like you said, you're dealing with the entire school. Now, how during the time, I know you said some of your students are back in the school and you're going into the classrooms, but during quarantine and for no, not then, but during this school year, where in the beginning the children were all virtual and now you have some who are virtual, how were they getting the books, or were they getting them?
When we were virtual, the students could put books on hold online and then come up on Fridays and get the book and pick up the books, so their parents could come pick up the books on Friday. Once we went face to face the first time, and still now, what we do is they put them on hold in their classroom, and we deliver books to them each week. So they know on Tuesday, if you're in second grade, then your books are coming on Tuesday around 10 o'clock. And so, and if their books aren't there by lunchtime, then they come looking for you to try to get their books. And then we do a lot of ebooks. So I've purchased a lot of ebooks in order for the students who are in the classroom or at home. They're able to go online when they want to read the books, check them out, bring them, return them, get more books. And that has gone up tremendously. I think at the beginning, we might have had 20 ebooks checked out in a month. Now we're up to over 220 ebooks checked out in a month.
Get it. Okay. Okay. I love that. Again, thank you for these wins. Thank you for giving these positive reports. What do people say? A praise report? Like, that is really awesome. So I'm really excited to hear that. And shout out to you all for coming up with the system that works within this time, because everybody had to spring into action and do things that we were not accustomed to doing. So you all came up with something that makes sense and that works for the students. So I appreciate that. And then are the majority of your students, within the neighborhood, like walking or short drive distance?
We service a greater portion of Virginia Beach. So we have students that could be as close as 5 minutes or as far away as 40.
Okay. Okay.
Because of the program at the school.
Okay. I know the 5 minutes babies. I'm very familiar with them. My old stomping grounds, got to get back out there soon. Yes. Yes. Well, that is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And congratulations to you and the faculty and staff there, administrators, for, things are going up. You said more books are being checked out and students are still excited about learning. And that's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. And I think it has a lot to do with the way you all engage them. I think it definitely has a lot to do with the way you engage them. They're still young and they still need that motivation. And you guys are doing a great job with that. So tonight, are you ready to motivate with this foundation?
I definitely am. This is the last episode, bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded.
You ready?
I'm at bat.
All right. You were the right one to be here. This is the right time. So I am going to step away and let you hit that home run. All right?
All right. Good evening, virtual villagers. Happy to be back one more time. Tonight, we'll be learning about prefixes and suffixes. Prefixes and suffixes can be used to read and decode unfamiliar words. We'll be learning about long vowel patterns, identifying long and vowel patterns when reading and spelling words. Our reading focus tonight will be summarizing a story, including the beginning, middle, and end. And our parent tip is to have your child create a writing checklist with reminders such as, do all of my sentences start with a capital, yes or no, and do all my sentences end with punctuation. Both of those are important. So let's start tonight with our long vowel sounds. Remember, long vowels say the name of the vowel. So long A will say A. It makes an A sound like A. Long E makes an E sound. Long I makes an I sound. Long O makes an O sound. And long U makes a U sound. Today we will look at a long vowel pattern that makes the long U sound, U, and then sometimes OO. When you see words that have an EW together, those letters can make the long U sound, U, and sometimes sound like OO. Let's take a look. The first word, D, U, do, D, U, do. Next word, F, U, few, F, U, few. Next word is st, U, stew, st, U, stew. Next word, dr, U, drew, dr, U, drew. Let's think of some more EW words. Can you think of any more? That's right. Chew, ch, U, chew. Anybody else think of one? Good job. View, v, u, view. What about through? Through, you. That sounds like it works. Oh, and I heard you. Blue, bl, you, blue. Excellent job, virtual villages. You did a great job with EW vowel patterns. Now, do you remember the last few weeks we talked about prefixes and suffixes? Well, today we'll look at them both. We will read some words and determine the suffixes, prefixes, and root words. Some can have both prefixes and suffixes. So let's look at the word dislike. Do you know the root word for dislike? The root word is like. Now, does it have a prefix or a suffix? You're right, it has a prefix, dis. And dislike means to not like something. Dis is the prefix, like is the root word. The next word is react. The root word is act, and it has a prefix also, re. React, and react means to act again. The next word is unreasonable. Unreasonable has a root word, reason, a prefix, un, and a suffix, able. Unreasonable. It means not able to reason. And our next word is disagree. Disagree has the root word agree, but it has a prefix, dis. And disagree means to not agree. So it's the opposite of agreeing. Disagree means to not agree. All right, our next word, I see this word and hear this word a lot in the library. Nonfiction. Nonfiction. It has the root word fiction, and it has a prefix, non. And a nonfiction book is a book that is not fiction, nonfiction. Factual information, true stories. And our last word is colorful. Colorful has the root word color and the suffix full. Colorful means full of color. colorful. Y'all have done a great job finding our root words, suffixes, and prefixes. Tonight, this is the story I'll be reading. It's called My Rainy Day Rocket Ship, and we will focus on summarizing when we get back.
All right. Well, that was a great lesson and an important lesson. Those prefixes and suffixes and root words, again, when we talk about building that foundation, when our children have the understanding of those, as those words become, as they get longer and more syllables and more, difficult to read, these are the tools that help them to decode and to be able to read. So we hope everybody tuned in, our little ones, that this reached you, and we also hope that parents understand the importance of these foundational literacy lessons. And of course, it was great to have it delivered by Mr. Bracey. And you guys know, if you've been here, that I call Mr. Bracey a unicorn, like a double unicorn, because he is a Black educator, and he was a teacher, and now he's a media specialist. And we cannot get enough. We love our women teachers, definitely, period. That goes without saying. But the presence of Black male educators, and especially in elementary school, is not there as it should be. The percentages are, lower than low. And so being able to see that means a lot. We've talked about on this show before. I think the first time I had a Black male teacher was in middle school, and maybe one in high school. And so, having that at the young age is super important. And we're glad that you are here to do that. So we are going to now, let's see, are we going to look, I'm getting fatigue, it's the last day. And am I forgetting the format of the show? But look, I'm just going to step away. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to step away because actually that story that you showed, I am so interested in that. I am so interested in finding out about that book. So what I'm going to do is step away and make sure that everybody is able to hear this story brought to you by Mr. Bracey.
Smart kids make our world better. At Heavenly Hearts, we believe that the right foundation is key to our future leader success. With our 4 key learning principles, which are inclusive learning environment, early exposure to financial literacy, community engagement, science and technology with engineering, art, and math labs, will enrich each one of our future leaders as well as the community they are part of. In these unprecedented times, the $59 billion childcare industry has been dramatically impacted by the pandemic. Heavenly Hearts has currently implemented several advanced health and safety precautions to protect our children and staff at our current licensed facility in Chesapeake, Virginia. Our new location will continue to use advanced technology to protect our children from this and future threats to their health and safety, as our mission is to educate, empower, and equip our students with the necessary foundation to be holistically successful throughout life. We invite you to get involved. As an investor or community partner, you can help in a variety of ways. Contact Serena Mag at 757-254-8156.
All right, our story is My Rainy Day Rocket Ship. And it's about this young man right here. And he is stuck in the house on a rainy day, but he refuses to let the rain spoil his day. So he uses his imagination to build his rainy day rocket ship. Mom says it's too rainy to play outside today, so I'll have to find my fun another way. He's in the window looking at the rain. I could get in some laughs with inside toys, cars, and games that bring much joy. And there he is looking at his pile of toys. But I've been there and done that stuff. Today I'll make something really tough. So he's sitting and he's thinking, what can I do today? Something different. Like a whole new world in a different place, a galaxy off in outer space. So he's thinking, I'm going to go outer space, go to a different galaxy. How is he going to do that? I'll need a rocket to get me there. How about this rocking chair? Do you think a rocket chair can get you to outer space? We're going to find out. And I'll need a super launching pad. This will require some tools from Dad. So he goes out, asks his dad for some help and some tools. A cardboard box and a bunch of socks. I wonder what he's going to do with those. These will surely serve me well. On this mission, I cannot fail. Look, he put the socks on his hands and on his arms. Now let's see about a spacesuit. These swimming trunks and goggles should do. So there's his spacesuit. He has on his swimming trunks and he's putting goggles on. That little dog behind him is looking at him like he's weird. He must look really strange to the dog. Of course, astronauts need a flag. Perhaps I can use Mom's old dish rag. Now, if I can just get Mom to turn off the lights, this astronaut's crew is ready for flight. And there he is. Inside of his box, that's his rocket ship. You see his goggles peeking through the hole. Dad does a countdown from behind the couch. Mom makes sure I don't feel an ouch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's getting ready to blast off. Zoom, 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 all the way from the living room. Down the hall, I'm riding on a broom. It looks like he's really flying. I wonder where he's going to end up. Perhaps for landing on planet XYZ, it's a safe arrival in my BED, also known as the land of Z's. That's where he ended up. He landed in the bed. I don't know if you see, it's 8 o'clock now on his clock. And he's in the bed. When he started the day, it was 9:30 in the morning. He spent all day trying to prepare his rocket ship for flight into a distant galaxy. And by the end of the day, his distant galaxy was in his bedroom, off to sleep, where he could dream about his adventure. Well, I hope you enjoyed the book, My Rainy Day Rocket Ship, by Marquette Shepard and illustrated by Charlie Palmer.
Yes. So I thoroughly enjoyed that book. First of all, it's great to see a Black man reading that book. Like the visual, we just can't deny what that means to us and to our children. And then I have to say, we were intentional with the stories that the teachers are reading to be these whimsical stories. We Rodney and I on Tuesdays, we come through with the historic, we're talking about Carter G. Woodson, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells. We're giving you that, and we're feeding off of the moments in history that Kalia provides daily. But we wanted to make sure that you all were reading those stories that are just imaginative and fun and creative. And it means so much to have that little brown face there, figuring out all of these things on this rainy day and using all those things in his house and things that children do for real. And our children deserve to see faces that look like them, so that it can be relatable to them. And if they haven't decided to do that on a rainy day, then hey, there's an idea on a rainy day, go into orbit with all the things that you have within your own home. And so it was really great having you. The visuals, again, is just a double win. And we have Portia here. So good to see you all last night. And she said, I love it. I love it. We're so glad that you do. We hope that Braylon was tuned in and able to enjoy it as well. But if you could speak a little bit, Mr. Bracey, to the power of, when we talk about these culturally affirming books, we know, or I hope we know by now, that we need those books that teach the history, that teach who the historic figures are, what they did, and that we as adults are able to have the after conversations to show how relevant that is to today. But then what about these books? What about the one like you read tonight, the ones that are just, a fun story that takes your mind in a lot of different places with brown faces on there? What about that?
Like you said earlier, it's great for us to have stories that children are just doing normal children things, but they can see children in the story that look like them. A lot of times with the whimsical books, the children don't look like our children. And so that's what they see in school. And then it almost makes it as if children like them don't have these adventures. And so they look at other children and say, well, it must be great to be like you because that looked like fun. They can look at these books and say, it's great to be me because it looks like fun. And this young man, this little boy who looks like my brother or looks like me is having a great time. And I can have a great time. And for those children who aren't Black, who don't have brown skin, it's good for them to see it as well. To see that other children that don't look like them, when they're at home on a rainy day, do some of the same things that they do.
Yes, you said it all right there. You said it all. And I think we can relate to, and for our children who are already doing that, though, to be able to see it in a story, like, why isn't my story? I do these things at home because I think we all have our stories of growing up, imaginative, creative things that we did using tents, blankets, and turning them into tents or forts. And, my cousins and I over the summer, all the little things that we did around our grandparents' house that we took and turned into jobs, offices, and, we had our own little apartments. We did a double dare obstacle course. So I'm glad that these books, like you said, are being written where, children with brown faces are able to see themselves. And like you said, everybody needs to know. Everybody needs to know that and see that, because a part of the thing when we keep hearing these stories of people having our children to do demeaning things and treating them in horrible ways, our children are not being humanized. Our children are not being valued in that way. And so these stories are a component of it, because the main thing is for us to protect them, but also to provide them with that strong sense of self. So these stories serve a lot of purposes. Of course, literacy is important. Reading is important. Comprehension is important. This is important in the educational process. But holistically, our mission statement says that we are using literacy in a form to, address and heal racial traumas. And so this is a part of all of that. It's holistic, and it all goes hand in hand. Dead Prez said it's bigger than hip hop. And reading is important. It is the foundation of learning, but it's bigger than reading as well. Right. There are a lot of components to this. So, the literacy gang around here, we say literacy is liberation. And, we're going to get free with this literacy, no doubt. So thank you so much, as always, for coming in.
Thank you.
As Miss Portia said here, she said, thank you for being here and gifting us with your presence. So
Thank you, Ms. Portia.
I second that. So we definitely appreciate you being here, Mr. Bracey, and all that you do for the Virtual Village family and all that you do for your students on a daily basis. We, we cannot stress enough how important it is to have teachers who, and media specialists who love and care on our children. And so we appreciate that. And it helps us to sleep better at night, knowing that our children are going to a place where it's an extension of the love that is coming from home. So thank you.
And thank the Virtual Village family as well. And because to have community members to step up and put on a production like this for the children, for the families, to assist with what they weren't able to get in school when we first started. This is in support of parents trying to educate their children from home. And now it's even bigger than that. And so thank y'all for what you do.
Well, thank you so much. You are in this family. You are definitely a part of this family. And thank you so much. And while we're doling out the thank yous, let's definitely thank the team behind the scenes, who are making all the magic happen and things run so seamlessly, because there's more to it. They make it look easy, but there's a lot.
They definitely do.
A lot of love goes into this. I mean, it is undergirded with love and value for our children and community. So again, thank you so much for being a part of this. And we are signing out for season 4. We are signing out for season 4, and glad to have you here on the last day. And wishing you here. Thank you. And we are wishing you a wonderful and prosperous rest of the school year.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you have a great evening. All right.
And y'all do the same.
Thank you. And so you guys, Mr. Bracey does a wonderful job with that delivery. And again, that imagery is so powerful. Having a brother here delivering these lessons and reading these books, it means everything to us. Much love to the Virtual Village family who have been tuning in from day one or whenever you started trickling into this. We appreciate you. This is the last day of season 4, but we do have the playbacks available and we are working on season 5. Also, we'd love your input and feedback. Look out for a survey that is coming from us that we're going to post. But also keep in mind, if you have any tips, if you have any suggestions or things you would like to see, feel free to tell us. This is for the community. This is for our children. So we want your input. You are a villager. If you are tuned in, then you are a virtual villager. So if you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, if you just love on our babies and you have some things that you want to add that you think could make this be even more better and more have a stronger impact, then please share with us. And on that note, I am going to, I'm ready for this powerful Peyton. So let's get this quote. Let's get this quote action right now.
Greetings, virtual villagers. I am Peyton, and today's quote is by Fannie Lou Hamer. When I liberate myself, I liberate others. If you don't speak out, ain't nobody gonna speak out for you.
Greetings, virtual villagers. I'm Jamir, and I'm back with today's book recommendation. Talia told you a little about Fannie Lou Hamer. We know that literacy is a master tool to liberation, so if you're interested in reading a book about Sister Fannie, Voice of Freedom, Fannie Lou Hamer by Carol Boston Weatherford is the perfect book for you. You can purchase this book at your local Black-owned bookstore or visit smile.amazon.com and add Clever Communities in Action as your charity, and Amazon will donate a percentage of the price of your purchasing at no cost to you.
All right. So proud of our young people. So proud of our young people. As we go through the thank yous of all the things that have made this possible, it was not easy to get all of these segments on here. And they came into the studio and they knocked it out. And as I've said, they had a strong sense of purpose. They were deliberate about it. They understood how important it was. And they are all about this mission of ensuring that literacy is at the forefront, that history and culture are at the forefront. So we are extremely proud of them for what they did and how they delivered. And Jaimir always comes through with the end with that book recommendation. And it is our goal. We hope if you have been tuning in, all of these books that have been read, all of these books that have been recommended, we are giving you guys the tools to build up these home libraries. So please add these books to the libraries of the children in your family or your community, your church, your mosque. You know, if you have a church, what stops you, you know, when you're able to get back in there from having a book club or from having a library within your church where children can go and check out books? If y'all are, you know, doing choir rehearsal and the children are there, why not have it where there are culturally affirming books there where they can be there and read? I know when I was a little child, my granny, my aunt, they played piano for the church. I was in the church all the time. And it would have been great to have a little library in there to go and we could convene around those books. So these are simple ways where we can keep the learning going, all right? So we have given you all the jewels, the nuggets. We hope that you are wearing these jewels, that you are chewing these nuggets. And we hope that this program has been of value to you and to our children. So like I said, we are open to feedback. Let us know. But this is the end of season 4, but we'll still be around. And we also have an announcement coming about another program that we are working on. So be on the lookout for that. And understand that the Literacy Gang still lives and the virtual village is still alive. And you will still see us and hear from us. But season 4, y'all, we are out. So y'all have a great evening. Continue to read, continue to love each other, and continue to protect our children. All right? Peace. All right, good morning. How is everybody doing on this Monday morning in March, where we are, what are we experiencing, Rodney? Like a completely different time, different course of events.
No one on earth can steal the joy inside of me.
That's right. No one can steal your joy
inside of me.
Whenever Mike flew into town, Audrey and her mama cooked
stardom. I'll have to show everyone that Ruby is our own booker.
And I see you have a beautiful person with us.
Yes, this is my daughter, Sai. Say
okay.
Hi.
Tanya and Sai are going to be our first set of readers. Let me bring Rodney back up here.
And I know a lot of Black people have similar stories, and I know a lot more Black people have stories that are similar but a lot more fatal, and which is why we wanted to partially dedicate this show to those who progress
everyone
with us.
Can be great because everyone can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know talk about things sometimes. You can infuse a book to get the conversation started around certain things. So I think that is an excellent book you have there. Thank you so much for writing it, and thank you so much for sharing it. And
came about, and so 14 years later, it was time to put it in the book form. And so
I happened to stumble across this book, not really knowing what it was about, but I started reading it and I was like, oh my God, this is like, it's like God came down from the heavens and said, this is the book for you. So it's a book that discusses conquering stress before you take a test or an exam.
Yes, I performed at Carnegie Hall. That was a lot of fun.
She just said that like
it's nothing, you know.
I'm so thankful to be on this show today.
Oh, you just gonna melt everybody's heart like that?